My wife put me on speaker and said it's over to make her friends laugh. I just replied, okay, I understand, and hung up. The next morning, her mother called her, screaming hysterically, "The house! Dear God, what did you just let him do to the house?" I was reviewing invoices at 9:47 p.m. when the phone lit up. My wife, Vanessa. I answered out of habit, still half focused on a spreadsheet tracking our quarterly expenses, numbers she never once asked about because, as she told me multiple times, finances are just so boring, Mark. The irony wasn't lost on me. Those boring finances paid for her weekly manicures at that upscale salon downtown, the one that charged $60 just to file her nails. They paid for her ever-expanding collection of streaming services, Netflix, Hulu, HBO Max, that niche documentary platform she watched exactly twice. They covered her weekend flights to Palm Springs when she needed to decompress with friends, staying at boutique hotels that cost more per night than most people's monthly car payments. But the moment I heard laughter in the background, cheap wine being poured, the clink of glasses touching, that hollow echo that only comes from restaurant acoustics, I knew something was off. My finger hovered over the spreadsheet, cursor blinking on a cell I'd been about to update. Then her voice came through, loud, exaggerated, dripping with that fake sympathy she used when she wanted to sound mature, but came off as condescending. "Mark, it's over. Don't text. Don't call. Just move on, okay?" Her friends howled. Someone, I think it was her friend Gabriel, the one who sold leggings through social media, yelled loud enough for me to hear clearly. "Oh my God, he actually picked up!" Another voice, slurred and delighted. "This is iconic." I could picture the scene perfectly. Vanessa at the head of the table, phone held up like a trophy, face flushed from her third glass of rosé. Her friends leaning in, hands covering their mouths, eyes wide with the kind of anticipation you see at a reality TV finale. This was entertainment. I was entertainment. I stared at my computer screen for exactly 3 seconds. The numbers blurred slightly. My jaw tightened, then relaxed. Then I said very calmly, "Okay, I understand," and hung up. 13 seconds total. That's how long it took her to end a 7-year marriage. Or at least, that's how long she thought it took. I set my phone face down on the desk. The office was quiet except for the hum of my laptop and the distant sound of our neighbor's dog barking. I took a breath, slow and measured, then reached for my mouse. No yelling, no questions, no begging or demanding explanations, just silence. Then I opened a folder on my desktop labeled Exit V. 11 months of quiet preparation sat inside. Spreadsheets, scanned documents, legal forms with stamps and signatures, authorization letters, account statements, property deeds. A meticulously organized timeline that read like a disaster preparedness manual, because that's exactly what it was. You see, I learned early in our relationship that Vanessa loved chaos and hated paperwork. The chaos fed her. It gave her stories to tell, drama to post about, reasons to call her mother and sigh heavily about how complicated everything was. But paperwork, documentation, responsibility, those things bored her to tears. So while she collected Instagram followers and filmed self-care haul videos where she unwrapped packages she'd bought with our joint credit, which wasn't actually joint, but I'll get to that, I collected signatures, notarizations, and digital authorizations. Every document had a date, every account had a clause, every asset, a house on Willow Lane with its white columns and professional landscaping, the BMW she drove like it was hers, even her joint business credit card she used for brand collaborations was in my name. Legally, irrevocably, documented in triplicate. Her prank wasn't an insult. It was an opportunity. It was the trigger I'd been waiting for. The unmistakable signal that she'd crossed from careless into cruel, and that I no longer owed her the courtesy of a warning. The thing about Vanessa was that she'd always been performative. Even in the beginning, when we first started dating, there was this theatrical quality to everything she did. Our first date had been at a rooftop bar downtown, and she'd spent half the evening positioning her drink for the perfect photo, adjusting the angle 3, 4, 5 times until the sunset hit the glass just right. I found it charming back then, endearing even. She was vibrant and alive in a way I wasn't, and I thought maybe her light would balance out my darkness. What I didn't realize was that everything with Vanessa was a transaction. Every moment had to have an audience. Every experience had to be documented and validated by strangers online. When she told me she loved me for the first time, 6 months into our relationship on a beach in Santa Monica, she'd made me wait while she set up her phone on a timer to capture the moment. The "I love you" wasn't just for me. It was content. I should have seen the warning signs, but I was lonely, and she was beautiful, and I convinced myself that her need for validation was harmless. Just a generational thing, I told myself. Everyone her age lives on their phones. But it wasn't harmless. It was